Hey guys, so I just wanted to share a little story with you, something that happened a couple weeks ago that have just stuck with me, and it just really has got me thinking lately. 2 weeks ago, I was in line at Peets Coffee and I was by myself, frantically trying to kind of hurry an order in before I had to get somewhere to a meeting. Didn't have the kids with me, and there was this older couple in line and they kept hovering and in like a very inappropriate sense of like personal space. They were hovering, they were older, probably in their 80s. They were confused. They didn't know if they should get a scone or a muffin, what kind of coffee they wanted, if they wanted to order a bag of beans. Like, I heard all their conversation. I felt them breathing on my neck, and I found myself starting to get really frustrated. Like, look, people, I've got babies, I've got toddlers. I do not need you two hovering on me when I'm just trying to place a quick order so I can get out of here. So I was quickly starting to feel like very bothered by them. And at the last second, right before I was about to pay, and even the guy at the register was like, he could sense my frustration, and like, I think he too was like, they're crazy, but you know what? They're older, they can do what they want. I guess at that age, you just have the right to just do awkward social things. So anyways, last minute, and I said, you know what? And let's get theirs. They were basically like ready to pay for their order before mine anyways. So I said, you know what? Whatever they want, I'm covering it. They're, you know, oh my gosh, I don't know what to say. I'm like, just get it. Like, I would love to treat you. That just would make me so happy. Even though on the inside, I'm like, as I'm saying it, I'm trying to get to that happy moment. And as I was talking to them and as they looked at me and I looked them in the eyes, like, my feelings of frustration, of annoyance, of everything that wasn't sweet and kind just started to like melt away, and I turned to compassion for them. I imagined my grandparents in that setting, and when there's a lot of options, I mean, it's hard. You're 80 and you don't know what's going on. And they said, no, and I fought them for a couple of minutes. I'm like, and the grandpa looked at me and he was like, well, I don't know what to say. And I just said, just say thank you. And so he was like, wow, thank you. And the lady, the woman, looked at me, and she was just this beautiful old woman with, you know, her gray hair, no makeup on. It was in the morning. And she looked at me with tears in her eyes and she said, you know, I don't know if anyone has ever done that for me before. And that made me all of a sudden just well up with tears. And I said, well, good. Then this is the first day for that for you, and I'm glad you got to experience that. And, you know, God bless you. And I bought their scones and their lattes, and the guy at the register then in return bought my coffee because he saw the whole thing go down, and I think he had a little bit of kindness and compassion for me for doing something for them. And I left, and I was so moved by that experience. I was moved in a way that God said, when people are annoying you, when people bug you, when people frustrate you, whether that be strangers, whether that be friends, family, your kids, your husband, do something to bless them. Do something in return to kind of like knock their socks off, to just love on them. Just be kind, and in return, your heart changes and they get blessed, and the whole situation, just, you grow from that situation. I just really found that really interesting, and so I have been trying to use that lesson and that principle that I learned in my Peets Coffee moment with my kids. When they're bugging me, when they're just irritating me, it's usually because my heart isn't in the right spot. So if I can just for a moment take a breather and then come back to that moment and sit down with that child and spend a couple minutes reading to them a book that they've been wanting to read, or just sit on the couch and snuggle Florence, or ask Beckham about his day and go out of my way to do like a fun activity when I would rather be cleaning or making dinner. That has really stuck with me. And the second part of that is this woman who is 80 something years old had never had someone, a stranger, just randomly buy her coffee. And I've experienced that a few times, and I am always so blessed by it. And I just thought how remarkable that someone has gone her whole life and has never had that happen to them, and how we often assume things. Like, we assume people are taken care of. We assume people have blessings and everything they need, or they have a friend when they need a friend. They assume somebody else will do it or has done it. And that is on us. That is our responsibility as like people here on this earth to just love others. And whether that be someone in their 80s or your baby or your spouse or your neighbor, that's our responsibility here. And in a season and a state that we find ourselves in now, today, after like a crazy election night, and there's just a lot of emotions, high and low, and I mean, it's crazy. I literally had to sign off Instagram and Facebook today because I can't handle the anger and the wrath. I think it's just poisoning. So as people frustrate you, strangers, people you follow on Instagram, neighbors, people that don't agree with you or bugging you or getting in your space literally and physically and mentally, go and bless them, like love them. And in return, you have this beautiful moment and experience that we should be experiencing every single day. So that is my Peets coffee story. It's just stuck with me, and I can see how God has used that reminder in like so many areas of my life, in this political campaign, with my spouse, with my kids, just loving people. And I always say, like, if you need a friend, be a friend. If you need love, be love to somebody else. If you need encouragement, be encouragement to somebody else. Like, it starts with us. Like, we need to continually give and pour out, and in return people give and pour out back to us. Like, we need to be open vessels that are just constantly growing, giving kindness, love, because when you're in need of it, it will come back to you. So that is my like quick ramblings of my Peets coffee story. That's all I got for this week, guys. It's been a tiring week between daylight savings, election. Came down with like a chest cold. So that's it. I'm gonna have some more creative fun things for you next week. But have a great day. Go out and love and bless somebody. And in return, your heart is just continually gonna be able to change and grow and just be able to give more. Bye, guys.